I am convening today the Foreign Ministers' Council of the European Union in our traditional meeting here in New York during the United Nations General Assembly. It is the heart of multilateralism, and the world has been marked by so many crises that the international rules has never been so disregarded. The international rule system has never been so weakly implemented and respected. A light of hope yesterday, the adoption of the Pact for the Future, shows that there is a big demand for multilateralism. Multilateralism means that everybody has its voice, that everybody is being heard, that the world takes into account the interests of everybody, not only the great powers. And we, the Europeans, we have a special responsibility to the citizens of the world, because the multilateral system, when it works, it brings peace and stability. I will coordinate the approach of the member states of the European Union this week to so many different issues, and in particular, how not, about the war in Ukraine and the situation in Middle East. In the war in Ukraine this morning, we have had a meeting about the energy situation in Ukraine. It's a critical situation. Putin continues bombing the infrastructure, producing electricity and energy for the Ukrainians. Almost 2/3 of the power capacity has been destroyed, and I'm sure he's trying to curb the will of the Ukrainian people by bringing them into the cold and the dark during the winter. So we have to increase our support to Ukraine and to look for a peace, but taking very much into account that this is a war of aggression, and there is an aggressor and an aggressed, and the result can only be based on the United Nations Charter respect. We will discuss about the situation in Middle East. Well, let me say that we are going to have for the first time the new Foreign Minister of Ukraine with us. He will be presenting his views on the situation in Ukraine, and it will be the first occasion for us to receive this new Foreign Minister. On the Middle East, you know that the situation in the border with Lebanon and in Beirut is becoming very, very worrisome, dangerous, with a lot of civilian casualties. At that moment, we are seeing a big exodus of people from the south of Lebanon to the north. The aerial views of the highways in the south of Lebanon shows a big mass, a big bottleneck of people flying, escaping, because they had been warned that the Israeli forces are going to bomb any objective related with Hezbollah. On the other hand, on the Israeli side, there are more than 100,000 people that was already forced to be displaced due to Hezbollah attacks. Both sides has continued fighting. The Beirut bombing has created a high number of civilian casualties. The risk of regional spillover is increasing. There is a path for security for both sides. It is the Security Council resolutions. It's clear that Hezbollah has an important part of responsibility on attacking Israel, but these attacks are the continuation of the war in Gaza, which is spilling over to the whole region, affecting the Red Sea, affecting Libya, affecting the West Bank. In particular, the West Bank, where the situation becomes also very much out of any reference to the international law, United Nations resolutions, and European Union position. We'll discuss about it. A ceasefire is needed to release hostages, to make possible humanitarian support, and to start the political process. We cannot wait for a ceasefire, because the ceasefire, who knows when it's going to come. We have to start discussing about the political process, and for that we are going to have two important meetings. The ad hoc liaison committee, hosted by Norway, as always, the regular liaison committee, where the Palestinians and the Israelis are both being asked to participate. Let's see. And then a joint ministerial meeting on Gaza and the two-state solutions. I would like to stop talking about the peace process and to start talking about the thing that really matters, which is the implementation of this two-state solution, which means the implementation of the Palestinian state, because the other state, the state of Israel, it already exists. So these two meetings will be very much important, one after the other, and another one with UNRWA, the UNRWA high-level meeting hosted by Jordan and Sweden. I will be there representing the points of view of the European Union that, as you know, is of a strong support to UNRWA, which plays a role on supporting the Palestinian refugees in several countries, and today providing support to the people in Gaza. Coordination among members of the European Union is key. I will present to my colleagues with a map showing what are we going to do all together. All the reach out that the 27 members are going to do. A lot. 27 people working together as a well-tuned choir. It's a strong power. There are some parts of the geopolitical issues which are not covered well enough, but all in all, the 27, together with the High Representative, represents the voice of Europe in so many meetings that is going to take place here in New York during this week. Thank you for your attention.